Hello, welcome to today's immigration tidbit. So I have another part of this question which also says what your ex was doing, and now he admitted that nothing was real in front of this other woman, I guess. A couple things. You don't actually have a question that you're asking here, but I assume that you want to report him to immigration. And there's a difference between a marriage that's gone bad and one that is cheating on you versus one that was entered into for purposes of the green card. And it requires two completely different sets of evidence. What you are referring to here um, gives me no evidence as to the bona fides of the marriage. What it does is it says that, he was fooling around, he was telling things to other women, and the fact you may or may not have a screenshot of him saying it wasn't real doesn't add or subtract to any evidence. I mean, he would tell that to anybody, if he's cheating on you. So we would need to look at the marriage itself in order to determine if, in fact, he entered into this relationship for purposes of the green card, which of course is not legal because it would have to be for love. So, how long did you know each other? What communications did you have? Where did you meet? How old is he and how old are you? When you were married, how long did you live together? What joint documents did you have? When did he start this behavior? Okay, I mean, the fact that before you were married he said he wanted children, then later changed his mind, again, doesn't really go to the bona fides of the marriage itself. He might have just changed his mind. I mean, he might have used it to entice you to marry him. I mean, it all depends. So, if you knew him, for example, for, you know, 3 days before you got married, and you didn't live together, and you didn't consummate the marriage, then of course it pretty serious allegations that it wasn't a bona fide marriage. But if you knew each other for a couple of years, you lived together 6 months before you got married, you had 3 kids, which of course you don't, because that's what the question is, then, there would be some basis for it. So if you can distinguish what you don't like and how you want to get back at him versus the evidence regarding the bona fides of the marriage, then you would be able to prepare a detailed declaration, send it off to the proper governmental agency, who would then investigate if they wanted to, and if they thought there was something to it, they could or may put him in removal proceedings because of this. Okay, if you try doing this yourself, because I've seen this happen too many times, all you're going to do is list, I mean, you're going to probably put 30 pages of stuff, and probably 29 and a half pages will not be relevant. It's just going to say it's a very disgruntled spouse who's trying to get back at her ex who left her. And while obviously that's not a good thing, and obviously that's creating you a lot of distress, it again does not get to the crux of the issue, which is whether or not it's a bona fide or was a bona fide marriage, and whether or not he entered into it for purposes of the green card or for purposes of love.